schmerbs. But how about some Gwent, eh?
What's up, Gwent people? I'm Lysander, gonna give you guys more Gwent gameplay. Alright, today we got ourselves a out of meta deck. It's Francesca. We're gonna be using the Mulligan archetype here for Scoia'tael. A lot of people have been saying Scoia'tael are dead. Then Swim came out with the Dwarf deck, which is really strong. I've played against it a couple of times. Struggle at times, sometimes it was a breeze. But still, a deck not to be sneezed at. But I decided that Francesca needed a little bit of love. So I tinkered around with it, played Mulligan. The Mulligan archetype, and I realized Mulligan should be played how Mulligan was meant to be, to give you the perfect hand. Because you get 3 extra Mulligans and 2 more with the officers, you can actually craft the perfect combos very well, even though they're normally unreliable in a normal deck setting. And I have some really cool gameplay to show you guys. It includes me dumpstering consume monsters, weather monsters, and the reveal Nilfgaard, showing you some of the highlights of this deck. So I really hope you guys enjoy. Let's go check out what this deck is about in the deck list. Let's go. Alright, so here we are in the deck list. Very quickly, let's try and wrap this up as quick as possible. We got some Verhead Vanguards. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm so sorry. Verhead Vanguards. 3 of them. That can't change. Mulligan just fits so well with these. There are your finishes. We try and get card advantage and then drop them late game to crush our opponents. And then we got our Blue Mountain Commandos and Sheldon. But we also have Barclay Elves as well as marching orders to pull out Sheldon. So this will pull this and this will pull Sheldon. So we have ourselves a potential chain of a potential chain of power that we can be dropping here with in 2 turns. Blue Mountain Commandos into Barclay into Sheldon, or into marching orders into Barclay into Sheldon. Get ourselves 34, 36 strength depending on how lucky you get. And they are really powerful plays, especially if you drop that on the empty board against those monster players that need to play small power units to set up. You can just pass on that round and then force them to use a lot of cards to take the round and bully them that way with card advantage. And of course we got Ida. I think Quen is a underrated ability when attached to a card. You can also sometimes recycle it with Milva. We got Avalok to draw more cards, and you don't have to worry too much about drawing too many cards and ruining your combos because you have Francesca to put the wrong ones back in. But on the other hand, you can make them draw more Crones, make them draw more Master units, always a pleasure. Skuru, having a second Scorch in your deck, a very, very good thing, especially against the current meta where we are facing a lot of high-powered units, a lot of same strength units. Scorch is invaluable to this game, and with a decent amount of control, you can use them well. And I run 1 Epidemic, 1 Lacerate as well to deal with monsters mostly, but Epidemic is also really strong against a lot of Northern Realms openers, as well as Siege Engine setups. So very strong cards in general. 2 Shackles because of the prevalence of the very annoying Villain Tratamirth. There's also Succubus that you have to worry about. Having 2 is good. You can also use 1 to lock Behemoths if you need them. Vren Warriors, Neckers. Speaking of Neckers, you have Marjoram to blow them out of the water. You have the resets available on all kinds of boosts that monsters can throw at you. Akimaras, Vren Warriors, Neckers. Perfect. Also wrecks some Reaver Hunters in some matchups against Northern Realms. Beats the high-powered Spotters. Very good in general, and in a pinch can be used for healing. Also kills Grave Hags. Perfect. Alright, run 1 First Light as well, just in case of weather monsters again, and of course to pull my Vanguards late game. In general, you always want to try and Mulligan away the Vanguards as much as possible. Mulligan away Sheldon, Mulligan away Barclay, and leave either Barclay or marching orders in your hand to have that combo ready. Either one, because marching orders can double as a Ida puller, a Murtabrak puller, and in a pinch can also pull out your Blue Mountain Commandos and your Vanguards if you're left with no other units in your deck. So very, very flexible deck. And the best part about this, I talked about it, Francesca as well as the 2 officers, they offer you another 5 mulligans, allowing you to almost get the perfect hand every round against whatever particular opponent you're facing. So if it's consume monsters, get these babies ready with the Lacerate, get the Scorch ready. If you're against weather monsters, hold on to that First Light, hold on to Ida. If you're against maybe some Northern Realms, you want to hold on to those Dimeritium Shackles because you have the opportunity to lock the lock Bork against Redefit controls. A lot of cool stuff you can do. And that's why I really love this deck. Alright, now we got some gameplay coming your way. I've got some Consume Monster. I got 1 Consume Monster, 1 Reveal Nilfgaard, and 1 Weather Monster matchup. All these decks are kind of prevalent in the current meta game. I just want to show you guys 3 possible matchups that you could be facing. This deck works against most of them. Loses to Queensguard a lot. It does pretty bad against Queen's Guard, and it also does really bad against Nilfgaard, yeah. But those are decks that you don't see too often, so I'm glad. But it really destroys monster, and it really does well against Reveal Nilfgaard as well as Discard Skellige, so to speak. Alright guys, I'm gonna hop into gameplay now, not waste too much of your time, and let's go. Okie dokie guys, welcome to the first Consume Monster matchup. We're gonna have an Unseen Elder. You know, a lot of people have been complaining about this, and let's watch my deck dismantle him. Alrighty, we're gonna start the Mulligan. Usually I try and drop the Vanguards early. You don't really need them, they stay powered up in your deck, and you always have a way of pulling them out anyway. Through natural drawing or Mulligans, you always have a way to find your way back to them. So you try Mulligan them as much as possible. Don't be too worried about the Blue Mountain Commandos, because you have Francesca to fix that for you. So even if you have more in your hand, don't worry. Vanguards out first. And you know, just clear off the stuff that you don't need in particular matchups. You know, if you don't need last rate, don't take last rate. Like Epidemic's not too good against Consume monsters because of the bloody eggs, but in some cases it's gonna be good if they stack eggs and then you just eat all of them at once. It's worth not giving them the carryover. And in this game he starts first, which is a big disadvantage for him because it really does counter a big part of the monster playstyle, which is setup. So I go with the high tempo play of my hero, immediately dropping 13 points on the board and setting my hand straight. I want to get some nice pieces on the board here. I drop the Vanguards again, like I said. You know, I want to toss those out as much as possible. And I do think I drop Sheldon as well. You want to drop the Dwarf combo and Officers, and the Vanguards. I keep saying Officers. Yeah, so I dropped another spare Commando just in case, because I do have Avalok for second draw. And because he starts at first and he played the Behemoth, so now I merely have the choice to pass here, because he played, you know, if I pass now, he's down, and to take the round, he'll have to lose one extra card, go down 2 cards to take the round against me, and already I gain card advantage that way. So that's how you bleed out that first round in a sense. So I'm thinking about it, and I decided that this is a good time to just go for that pass. Go for that pass. Going for the pass there. Yeah, going for the pass here is the smart play, of course. You know, you force the monster player to drop in card advantage, and that is one of the best ways to fight a monster player. So immediately having to pass here because he was trying to set up. First of all, he wastes 1 Behemoth, and he'll have to pass. So what he does here is, I think, probably tries to set off the combos to get the Rackers out. Maybe, I don't know, but it could. See, one of the things in passing early as well is you force him to draw one of those Arakas early next round, maybe. If he's trying to get those Masters in, he's gonna possibly draw them in the next 2 cards. You know, you can really ruin his hand pretty bad. So, I lose the round, yeah, but he's down 2 cards. And now we start the next round. I'm very confident I can take him, even with his nice strength head start. So, what I'm gonna do now is, I want to keep on to Mardrums as much as possible because those cards are dope against Consume monsters. I'll just drop the Shackles, I think, or Sheldon. Yeah, drop the Sheldon. Yep, there you go. Toss Sheldon out of there, get an Epidemic. So Epidemic is good. It can help me get an early 3-point lead here and bring him to his last necker. It's good. Well, 9-point score here. So 9-point Epidemic, not too terrible. Bring him to his last necker, doesn't let him carry over the last one, but he does do this funny thing. So what I do instead is I just Epidemic anyway. I want to try and bait him out to pass because I'm 2 cards down, remember? And he did play cards, so I can easily take the round from him if I do want to, because I have marching orders for a 14-point pull. Is it 14 points? 16 with marching orders. So it's a very big deal for me. He tries to go for the card advantage game. He plays his Spy, and I go for Avalok here. Draw a little bit more cards, and get some juicy resources on my side. And because you know, he's still cards down, he's right now 1 card down, he can decide to pull out of this round right away. He did regain a little bit with his Spy, but in the end I still have 1 card on him. I start first, but I have the last say in this game, which is very important because against Grave Hag you always want last play because he just absolutely craps on his strategy. A big win condition on monster is to win that final round with the Grave Hag. And if you have last play, you can just hold on to a Maldrum, hold on to a Shackle, and just blow his plans out of the water. So right now, Gonna mulligan one of the officers, maybe? I want to hold on to the vanguards now because it's in the third round. You want to try and hold on to some of your vanguards. So I decide not to redraw anything because I don't want to redraw a Blue Mountain Commando over here. So I'm going to start with something very simple. I start with an Ida. I did mention this earlier. I want to start with Ida. Just get that Gwent buff on it. Buff up the Blue Mountain Commandos. Give them a good amount of strength. And at the same time protect them from last rate. Which is very important. Because when they're played initially, they are very weak to last rate. So it's an important thing to note. Then now I try and bleed him of his neckers so that he doesn't get any more of those musters. So I get Murder Bright to shoot them while they're small. And get some value out of those neckers. Well, get some value out of the Murder Bright now. So I kill one of his neckers. And it does turn out that he doesn't have any more left. So what I'm going to do here is I'm thinking about scorching his Haraka, but I decide to get a second use out of my Murder Bright. I bounce it back. You know, that's the power of Milva. You can, if you do the math right, you play your cards in the right order, you can actually get some pretty big value out of it. In hindsight, I think scorching the Araka Behemoth is the wrong play here, but I decided to go with it anyway. I don't want to let him set up any big targets, but in the end, turns out he still had that monster nest, which allows him to create another one at 8 strength. I do have the shackles here. Do I use the shackles? I think I'm trying to fish for another scorch here because I used my original scorch. I still have Skiru. So what I want to do is pull out the Blue Mountain Commanders first. Okay. Oh no, I'm just going for the shackle. Yeah, just going for the shackle, trying to deny him of any kind of setup possible with the behemoth. And hopefully that allows me to get ahead in the game because it's unlikely he has 2 behemoths in this third round. It could be wrong. And I do regret my choice right away because I do not have a shackle for Mistress Marigold. So slightly annoying. I go for another mulligan. I drop a Mardrum here and I immediately draw Blue Mountain Commando as per RNG. So I kind of regret my decision here, but I do have another officer to fix that problem. That's why I did go for that particular play. And at the same time, I do remember I am buffing up my vanguards. And in the late game, you know, with lack of Harpy Eggs, you know, you can actually get really low on power, a little low on points as well when it comes to the play. So he goes for the immediate use of the Katakan. It's not too crazy. I'm just gonna go for the Necker kill so that he doesn't grow anymore. Deny him of any future growth. And that's all his Neckers out. So he has no more Neckers, he can't make any more of them. And he'll have to rely on some good old-fashioned consuming. So locking that Behemoth turned out to be a pretty good play because he doesn't have a lot of value from that Triss. You know, he's getting some value, but it's not crazy value. And now I play my second officer to replace that. And I do get a D-Shackle, so that is pretty damn good. And he finally plays the Rackers, gets his muster out, and you know, just in time because I have the counter to Triss Marigold. Block him out, prevent that extra boost with the Rackers, and now he goes for the Unseen Elder, tries to protect his units. And I don't really care because, you know, yeah, it's a good amount of strength, but it's just not good without Neckers. It's not that strong without Neckers, it's not that strong without Behemoth, it's only just keeping the strength safe. He's not actually gaining any net strength, so to speak. So now I pull out my Blue Mountain Commandos. I am still very open to a Igni. I'm giving him 14 points of Igni right here. He can go for it, but he's still going for the Ekimara here. Yeah, you know, consume monsters don't really have a lot of power plays if you deny them some of the key cards. Neckers being one of them, one of the other powerhouses being the Behemoth. And look at this huge Sheldon that I drop on the board here. Bounce around the commandos, get that strength, and I'm up to 75 against a consume monster. And this is one of those examples I want to show you because of how much power this deck can muster out. I didn't use it in round 2, but imagine if I drop this combo in round 2. How are you going to deal with that with 1 or 2 cards? Monsters need a lot of cards for setup. They don't have a one play beat 36 strength kind of thing. And that's exactly what I did. Drop a huge amount of strength on that turn. And right now he's playing a lot of those cards that are really good with setup, and he has none of those setups. So I'm like, alright, I'm already kind of in Igni range, so I might as well play. I made a misplay here. I should have dropped this Vanguard on the top row to protect my 777s. I made a huge misplay here, losing 21 to an Igni right now. And yet, I wasn't punished because this deck just absolutely shits on monster players. The net deckers just have no idea how to beat this because once you identify your opponent's weakness in their decks, you know, once your opponent identify all your opponent's key weaknesses. I say this many times, when you net deck, your one biggest disadvantage is enemies know what your deck has, and as a result you get easily countered. So yeah, this monster player is down and out. His grave hack gets shut down by my last play Margin, and yeah, we win even after my huge misplay, losing 21 points there instead of 13. Really big oversight in retrospect. I should have definitely looked at that. You know, I could have saved a little bit of strength. I would have still lost more to Sheldon, but at least I saved 3 strength if I played it right. So definitely a misplay there on my part, but hey, not punished. Yippee-ki-yay. Alright, so that's a consume monster getting taken down. Most of the games go on like this. You know, even if I start second, it is still different. It's not much difference. The playstyle is still the same. It's still very easy to get the advantage on the monster player, so long you play it cool, play it safe, and beat them very, very convincingly. Alright, on to the next one. It will be a Reveal Nilfgaard. I think. Yep. Alrighty, so Reveal Nilfgaard, another deck that's pretty popular in the ladder right now. Not as popular as the monster variants, but I thought I would give a little bit of diversity when it comes to that. My last matchup I want to show you guys is the weather monsters. So this is all at rank 17 play. A lot of net deckers here. Very easy to predict their plays. All you have to do is just stay one step ahead. And one of the good strengths about this deck is, you know, this is where you see Everlap coming to play here, because he overlaps. You see, I draw my master units. I draw 2. Normal people would be kind of mad at that, but I have Francesca to save the day, and I might have made him draw some golems. I might have not, you know, but it's just really good at forcing out the enemy's master, and he's kind of reluctant to play his hero power without the ability to draw. And he actually makes me draw Scoia'tael, which is kind of annoying, but I have the officers for that, and I do bounce it back into my deck. So I do open up my officer for a mangonel shooting, but I'm very surprised he decided to pass here, so I'm just going to play Ida and take the round easy. Use Gwent, buff up my Blue Mountain Commandos, and now you're gonna see the power of this the Blue Mountain Commandos in action here. So I buffed them up to 15, so now they're like a 15 master. I top deck Saskia again, which is very annoying, by the way. But I don't care, because I am going for the Blue Mountain play right away, and then I'm going to the next round where I'll just Mulligan Saskia anyway. So I play 15 strength. He's unable to touch this. He goes for the Mangonel, and I go for the huge bomb onto his lane. And I just wanted... Okay, this game isn't that great because my opponent made quite a few mistakes, I feel. But it just showcases how much power you can get out of 2 plays, and the enemy just is unable to catch up to you. And with the amount of resources he has to spend into removing these units or getting anything out of that, I mean, he's 18 points down right now. He might not even be able to catch up in two plays. So I don't think, even with Vatir, I don't think he can catch up. So he tries Vatir. Alright, he tries Vatir, and because of the Quen, it does, you know, normally Vatir with a Mangonel, it does so much damage, but with the Quen shields, it just made so much difference in this game, and he already went down 1 card, 2 cards, and now he's going down a 3rd card. Well, not that. He had to play 3 cards to catch up with me, and as a result, he goes down 1 card, and because he starts first next round, it's kind of like 1.5 card disadvantage, and it's huge for this game, especially in the in a matchup where you need to drop your big units last. So yeah, you can already see here he's forced to play another card here, and he goes down 1 against me and starts first in the 2nd round. So definitely a huge win for me. I just played 2 plays and I just got a huge boost like that. You know, a lot of players with the Hanselt, they can do the Hanselt style where they Hanselt the sergeant and then they pull the whole row of sergeants and have vests drop on top of that. Get 40 strength or something in 2 plays. That's pretty powerful, but this is the Scoia'tael version, and I feel that it works super well in spite of it having a lot of requirements because of Mulligan. Because you can Mulligan the parts that you want, it just makes it so good. And right now I have all 3 of my vanguards in hand, which is kind of good, so I'm kind of protected against Swears. In certain reveal matchups, maybe you want to use Ida to Quen your vanguard so that you can protect them from Seret. But I don't think it's that big. Alright, so yep. One card down and he has to start first. He starts with a spotter right away. I think he's just gonna accept the fate that his spotters are gonna get bombed. So I'm just going to mulligan my... I'm gonna mulligan my Vanguard away because I can pull it out with first light anyway, so I'm not too concerned about that. And even if... I'm not sure, I didn't check my graveyard, but yeah, he's going to play his bad Witcher guy and nuke my officer out of there, which I feel is honestly another bad play, which, you know, like I said, this game is not really to highlight my opponent beating... Well, I mean, most review Nilfgaard matches you can beat this way, but I just wanted to show you guys a game where you can see the power of this turn 2 first in play that forces your opponent to go down many cards. So I'm just gonna play my hero power now at long last. It's very rare that you get to play a hero power in the third round, but in this game it was a special circumstance. And he does play his Nilfgaardian Knight. It's got a solid power on the board, but you know, like I said, we have this gold frontier here right now. And we have the ability to just drop multiple Scorches. We got Skiru for 1 Scorch. We got a second Scorch already in hand. So I decided to play Skiru first before my first Scorch to try and bait out a potential, bait out some potential oversights from him because he thinks that 1 Scorch is already down, that I don't have a natural Scorch, maybe. So I do change out my shackles for it. It might come to bite me back in the butt later on if he does have something like a T-Ball. But I'm very certain that with T-Ball is going to give me another card. It's probably going to be too much for him to handle because I will have another Vanguard to deal with this. So actually, he plays his Van Hamer, drops a Frost on me, which I am very... No, I'm not concerned about at all. I think down here I do play my... Yeah, I do play my Murderbreck. Try and get a second play with Milva out of it. Just wanted to try and get some value. At the same time, kill off Van Hamer so that he doesn't have an opportunity to decoy it. And the reason why I didn't hit the spotter there was because I want to try and line up some Scorches. But he's smarter than that, so I do believe he plays Ockles here to get my poor dragon killed. Oh, am I wrong? No. No, he plays Cynthia. Alright, so he plays Cynthia. Cynthia buffs up to 19. I decided, alright, time to use Scorch number 1. Burn Cynthia out of the sky. Don't want to, once again, I don't want to use Mardrum instead because he could use Decoy and get a second look at my other Vanguard. So, review less my hand, the better. And yeah, he still has only one spotter down the ground. He still needs another one. But the cool thing is, I've got lots of stuff to deal with this. Yeah, he uses Ockles, kills off my dragon. Locked his 1 spotter. It's also a smart play, kind of, because it prevents him from, you know, if he does review another card, it will stagger his spotters. So, but he doesn't know that I have Mardrum and I have a lot of Scorches. So, right now, my play, I just go for the first light. Oh yeah, I go for the first light, yeah, definitely. First light. I think so. Yeah, go for the first light. It probably pulls me a... No, I can clear out the frost. Okay, yeah, clear out the frost. Didn't want to play one of my units. Not sure why. Oh, yeah, because my marching orders will summon a Vanguard. So yeah, that's why. So he plays his... So he goes for the, what do you call him? Yeah, wastes the last right. But I can't remember what his name is. Mr. Stars and opponent for the night sky. Who is this guy? I can't remember his name. But yeah, please, Mr. Burn Your Fire Hit thing. And I almost make the mistake of playing Milva here. Almost. But I didn't. So I decided to play my revealed Vanguard first and bait out his Peter. Because might as well, right? Might as well. So he immediately goes for the Peter play. Yep. Pew! And that allows me to get rid of one of his spotters at the same time not lose card advantage. Here you go. Because I have another Vanguard to spare, so I don't have to worry too much about it. He plays the noob spotter, I play the noob Vanguard. And at this point, yeah, I guess you can see where this is going. This guy is pretty much screwed. Yeah, E-bombs. You know, I'm not giving him any real targets to deal with. Like I said, these guys are finishers. I think now it's the time to Scorch. Yep, Scorch the Knight. And Skiru. I don't really care. It's a trade 10-10. It's not the optimal play, but I just want to make sure that because I know for sure that I have got 30 power on him, then this guy has no chance whatsoever. Even with a spotter here, he doesn't win. So I'm not too worried. Yeah, he plays the. Alright, he plays a nice Igni here, so I know the final card in his hand can't be any more Scorch or any of those removals. So I play my last Vanguard, hold that Marjoram for the last spotter, and there you go. So I Marjoram that, and that wins the game for me, and I still have one more Vanguard that I can pull with marching orders. But at this point he just concedes, so easy win for me. Alright. Next. Alright, finally, the last matchup here, we have a weather monster, someone's evil invention, I'm not sure whose, but it is very popular now. I see a lot of front page Reddit threads about this, calling this deck out on how broken it is, how cancerous or something, I don't know. I don't find this deck difficult to beat at all, especially when you are able to mulligan all your answers every single time, reliably. It's just a very fun deck. This Scoia'tael deck, this Francesca deck. So, yep, Dagon. It is after I hit rank 17. Yeah, it's not so big in some people's eyes, but I think it's high enough to showcase how good this deck can be. And in this game, I start first. So screw you, second turn haters. I do start first, so I do have that disadvantage as well. So I'm okay starting first because in this deck, you know, you start first, you have that gold front line. And then you have Epidemic to counterplay a lot of things. You have Skiru as well to set up a second Scorch. I do believe I play Skiru here, do I? Or do I play Ida? I think I play Ida. No, I don't have anything to Ida with, so yeah. Probably going to play the Officer to return Sheldon to hand. Yeah, return Sheldon to deck. Yep. And this is one of my weaker hands where I don't have a lot of the options to play the Blue Mountain Commando strategy right off the bat. So he goes for 4 eggs turn 1, and I decide, well, what the hell, I'm going to pop all the eggs, prevent him from getting any of that carryover nonsense, and leave him at just Harpies, and he still doesn't have enough to pass on me, and that's one of the things that's most important here. If he does, if he can actually pass on me there, I would have gone down one card, and that would have been problematic. So right now, I am going to scare the hell out of him by playing Skiru. Or Milva. Oh, I play Milva here, I think. Milva puts me ahead, allows me to replay my Officer to draw some potential round-winning combos. Because I start first, I need to have the resources to try and challenge out a round 1. So, this is very important for me. The Blue Mountain Commando strat, you saw it on round 2 earlier against the Reveal Nilfgaard, but you can also use it on turn 1 if you're very confident about destroying your enemy, overpowering your enemy into a pass. It's also very important. Especially when you start first. If you overpower your enemy into a pass on a game where you start first and then you can go for a dry pass the next round, you can actually get back the card advantage and have that last play. So it's very important. So I'm thinking here, thinking real hard, and I decided to go to Milva. Yeah, I remember the play. I go for Milva. I took the risk of bouncing back one of his Seleno Harpies to spawn new eggs, but you know, I get a little lucky. He bounces back one of the regular Harpies, and that puts me 1.8. Yeah. And again, I'm ahead. I have to stay ahead. As a first player, you always have to stay ahead, unless you've got a real crazy plan that you want to pull off. So you always want to have to stay ahead in terms of power, otherwise you get passed on and then, you know, 2 cards down. So he does this thing where he buffs his guys, and I see a 20-point Scorch, and I'm feeling it. Because a 20-point Scorch does feel good. It does. I was thinking of using Skiru this game, but Skiru this round, but I realized that I can't. Or do I go for Ida? Do I go for Ida? I think I see a 20-point Scorch though. Pretty sure I went for the Scorch. Because I want to save some first lights for his final play, where he'll undoubtedly be trying to use Foglets for Yennefer, or for Overdose, or whatever the potion buff stuff is. Thunderbolt Potion. So You want to at least have one clear skies to remove his final fog. So I can't use either for shielding this game. He drops a Harpy, it's a pretty pointless play. And I think I go for Scoia'tael. Get enough Scorch ready. Oh yeah. I clear the skies, losing 10 points. I think that's more than enough to chase him out the round. Yeah, 26-6. I do believe he decides to back out now. Or does he? I think he will back out. Doesn't want to commit too many resources. The thing about weather monsters is they try and control you a lot and swarm you with stacks and stuff, but they don't have a lot of individual power plays. Again, they are a setup kind of style, setup kind of deck, so they need the combo pieces to actually pull off a big win. So they can't afford to waste too many resources on a round to bleed you out. Weather monsters and consume monsters, they're not that great at bleeding out round. Well, I don't know how to explain it. If they're down too much in power, they have to commit a lot of resources. If they say, alright, we're going to this next avenue of sparring with you, they'll have to expend more resources, and they might not be willing to spend that much resources on this. And because I'm round one, I'm doing the combo. I drop it right away, like it's hot. He tries to go for those golem plays, try and get some second stacks going. He thinks I'm gonna pass him. No sir, I'm dropping a fat turd on his deck. And say hello to 36 points, or 34 points against 6. And I would like to see the monster do it. That he drops a second golem, and that is the worst play he could possibly make. So I immediately go for the pass, and he has to go down at least 2 cards to beat me here, for sure. Even if he does have Scorch here, it is not gonna happen. Yep, goes for the Foglets. So he has to go for Foglets first. It's not gonna be enough. And then he has to go for one more play. So once again, he's down 1 card, and he has to start first in round 3. This combo just destroys the card advantage game that these monster players need, because when you play decks like these, you need that final play for that big Yennefer, you need that big, maybe the big Foglet pull, you know, stuff like that. And well, you don't have that luxury when you get punished like that. So down 1 card in round 3 and starting first. Good luck, monster net decker. Good luck. And like I said, net decker's biggest disadvantage. I know what's in your deck. I know how to play around your deck. Yeah, you can carry over 4 points. Be my guest. Carry over 8 points. Yeah, what the hell. I do draw shackles. I think I keep the shackles here in case of a what's her name, succubus. But I decide not to because I have 2 officers anyway. Forgot how this game went. But the biggest problem about this game right now is I don't have any of my vanguards in hand. I have First Light to pull it, but First Light is strictly for removing the Foglets right now. And there you go, pulls out Roach. Yeah, there you go. That is his final fog right there. He plays the Woodland Spirit. Gets a huge bunch of tokens on the board, and I have to immediately get the swipe ready. So Lacerate coming in handy once again, and because this deck gets what it wants, because the mulligans always have the right answers every time, almost every time. And it's just great. Like, now he loses a lot of strength, because if he had followed that up with an Overdose or a Yennefer, I could be in a lot of trouble because the power might be a bit too hard and too staggered for me to deal with. But Lacerate all the tokens out of the way, and then we have ourselves a good time. You know, a lot of his potential strength already down. You see the Yennefer, if he had gone off with that board, I would have been in trouble. But now he plays the Yennefer, and here's another very important play. With that Yennefer, you have to immediately kill the Unicorn, because some weather monsters do play the decoy, and they're going to try and decoy that bloody horse and get you a second round of pain on their guys. So because I killed off that Unicorn, he doesn't have the decoy play. I do believe, yeah, it was decoy, I think. I think I was proven right later on. So he does go for the Fiend here, locks down my poor Mudbrak, and yeah, he gets popped by the fog. He's 32 strengths up on me. I'm not too concerned. I decided to drop Mardrum here, I believe. Yeah, I don't really need Mardrum in this matchup. They don't have any huge boost units. They have Scorch, I believe. They only have Scorch. And I'm not too concerned. I have First Light to remove a lot of his Foglets. So that's 12 strength I'll be denying him. I do deploy Skirr, but I will not have Fog, I think. Oh, will I? No, I do turn it. Yeah, I do turn it into Scorch. Yeah, might as well. Because his biggest unit is now... Yeah. So he does have the decoy. So guys, it's a good thing I play around decoy because that bloody unicorn. So now Roach is at 7. I play Scorch, burn out the Roach, and see what his last play is. I'm not sure what the last play is here. I don't remember. Alright, so it's just evening. So yeah, he doesn't have any chance in hell now. I'm going to clear the skies and yeah, send him packing. I think I was counting cards to see which way I could play. Yeah. Play that. I could pull the other Vanguard and still win, but I decided to clear skies and just ruin his day a little bit. So I clear skies. Kaboom! Bye, Widow Monsters. And there was another game right after this. Right, exactly the same outcome. But I want to end the video now, so I don't want to have to deal with this. But yeah, my win rate against monsters is super high. So I really advise you guys to give this deck a check out. It's really cool. I would really recommend it. I call it Francesca because it used to be a mill deck, but now it's not really a mill deck. But it kind of has a nice ring to it. So Francesca, it will stay. But ultimately, what you're doing here is having some cool combos with the right combinations and having mulligans to make sure that those combinations happen. And that's it. You know, it's just a matter of playing tempo, playing smart against your enemies, and winning the game and winning more Gwent. Alright guys, hope you guys enjoyed this piece of content. I hope I made Scoia'tael great again. Gotta make a hat for that. And hopefully you guys subscribe for more and share this video with your Gwent friends. And we'll see more in the future. But yeah, more stuff coming your way in the future. Do stay on this channel, do like, do subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye bye.